Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only Hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned.
Man, you know I get asked on a day-to-day basis, do you miss boxing? And if you came back, who would you fight? Most days I don't miss it. I'm very content doing what I'm doing in life right now. Who would you fight? That's the problem. You know, it's a lot of names out there, but it's not a lot of names that make sense. You know, but it's one name that I brought up before that when you say that name, I can see myself fighting him. Present day, today. If the business was right and if, you know, everything was right on that front, me and Anthony Joshua. That's a fight that I would take at Wembley Stadium. It's a dangerous fight for my legacy. It's a dangerous fight across the board. And but that's a fight that would get me in the gym and get me in the mindset that I need to be in to go to war. It's Anthony Joshua. And I know you're getting ready to, you know, fight Jake Paul. It looks like that's where it's going. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about a real fight for legacy.
He talks about some of his skills kind of would translate to fighting bigger guys. When you're watching him, what makes you think he could be successful against if he were to move up to cruiser or a bigger guy?
Well, because, you know, I've witnessed it year after year. And fighting a bigger man, it doesn't have to do with size or anything. It has to do with his attributes and their attributes. And if you're able to single out one thing that would make it a competitive fight for yourself, you take that chance because that's what he's here for. And I'd like to see him fight Anthony Joshua. I'm serious. I'm not playing, I'm serious. I think that would be a very interesting fight. Now, I know you got a lot of people, oh, that's suicide. But there's something about Anthony Joshua that I see that I believe he can outbox Anthony Joshua. So, I just said, I see we outboxing Anthony Joshua. You know, there's some things about Joshua that I see. Now, he's a good kid, I know him, and he's a swell, but I'm just telling you, I just see things with him in particular, and he's the best. You know, but styles make fights. Styles make fights. It would be a waste of time to go to cruiser, just leapfrog it. Go for it all.
Got me sweating, man.
Andre, just real quick, man. What's your thoughts on that?
Sorry, what'd you say?
What's your thoughts on that? You've always said that right in the zone. Process in there.
You always set the bar high, man. That's the kind of stuff I've been dealing with since I've been a kid. Like seriously, that's it right there. Like that's the essence of our team right there. Like that man will make me believe something I never even thought of. Like Anthony Joshua, really? And it'll make perfect sense to him. So we'll see.
Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hosting Cruz. And very interesting news, ladies and gentlemen, as Andre S.O.G. Ward, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters to ever put on a pair of gloves, 32-0, 16 knockouts, 2004 Olympic medalist, 2-division world champion at 168 pounds and 175. Last fought in 2017, been retired from the game 8 years, Hall of Famer, has said recently, as you guys saw in the video, that he's willing to come out of retirement, an 8-year retirement at 41 years old, to take on top heavyweight, former 2-time unified champion of the world, heavyweight champion of the world, that is, in Anthony Joshua, who is 28-4 with 25 knockouts. And like Andre Ward said, man, it's a dangerous fight for his legacy. It's a dangerous fight, period. And I can understand why Andre Ward said that, because the highest and heaviest that Andre Ward fought was 175 at his peak. Now he's been 8 years out of the game, and now he's willing to go up to the top class in the division, which is the heavyweight, the highest. For 175 to heavyweight, that's a massive step for Ward. Now, I'm not saying that Ward can't do it. You know, he is one of the best to ever do this. Very talented fighter, gifted. You know, hasn't lost a fight since he was 12 years old, back in the amateur days. And that's impressive. That's one story that always stuck with me about Ward. He never lost a fight. He has not lost a fight since he was 12 years old. It's a long time undefeated without taking a loss. So, you know, he's content with what he's been doing, like how he said in the video, with his life. You know, as y'all know, if you've been following Ward lately, he's been turning in these excellent interviews with Stephen A. Smith, recently Andre Berto, Layla Ali, Clarissa Shields. Hope they fight soon. So yeah, man, he's been doing these interviews lately in his life, man, and they've been a pleasure to watch so far. You know, I've watched most of them, and like how he said, man, he's been content with his life so far since retirement. You know, he's been inducted into the Hall of Fame, I think last year. I think the youngest Hall of Fame inductee in the history of the sport. And he said, man, if there's one fighter that will give him the itch to step back and to get out of bed or whatever and go hit them miles on the track, on the road, and hit the gym and hit the pads and everything, will be only one man, Anthony Joshua. And in the past, he's called Joshua out before, and of course, never materialized for whatever reason. Now he's calling him out still. You know, he's very, for him to call out AJ, even after AJ got flattened by Daniel Dubois in his last fight in 5 rounds, it just shows you how interested Andre Ward is in fighting Anthony Joshua. Now, I would understand this fight if Anthony Joshua had the unified titles or any heavyweight championship. But he doesn't have anything right now. All he has is a 5th round knockout loss to Daniel Dubois in his last fight. Now he's still a big name in the heavyweight division. He still can punch. He can box still. He's still a dangerous man, especially for a much smaller fighter than Andre Ward, man. Andre Ward is about 6'1". Anthony Joshua is 6'6", 6'7", almost 300 pounds, with good boxing skills, good punching power. And once he puts his punches together, it's a wrap. You know, once Joshua can put those hands together, he's one of the best combination punchers I've seen in the heavyweight division. I mean, that's the AJ that we are accustomed to seeing. That's the AJ that was able to go in there back in hell with Vladimir Klitschko, getting off the deck, and then being able to rally back and stop Klitschko in the fight of the year candidate. I think he won fight of the year. And just how he was able to knock out almost everyone he's fought. I think Joshua had a 21-0 with 21 knockout record in the past on his rise to stardom. So, of course, until he took the losses to Ruiz, Usyk, and then Daniel Dubois, but those are all top heavyweights, you know. Of course, he was able to avenge the loss to Ruiz. He got back-to-back losses to Usyk, who is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters right now in the sport, and the #1 and top heavyweight. Now, like I was saying, I'll understand this fight if Joshua has something to offer besides the name. But he has no titles. He has nothing going on. He's coming off a knockout loss. I would prefer Andre Ward to, if he wants to have a legacy-defining fight, right? Jumping up to heavyweight is one thing. That's a big step. That's a move. And it's impressive to see Andre Ward willing to go up to heavyweight and to fight just to fight up there. You know, any heavyweight is dangerous, especially you're coming from 175. Those are the big guys. You know, all it takes is one punch. But to see, but if Andre Ward wants to impress the fans, besides going up to heavyweight, I think he should call out the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the heavyweight division, and that is Alexander Usyk. I think that'll be a great fight on paper. Andre Ward, Olympic gold medal winner, versus Olympic gold medal winner as well in Alexander Usyk. who is right now the king in the heavyweight division, undisputed heavyweight champion, undefeated, pound for pound, something that Andre Ward is accustomed to during his time, pound for pound, undefeated, Olympic gold medal winner, and just can't be beat. So for Andre Ward, to see Andre Ward go up to heavyweight and fight someone like Usyk would be great. I would love to see it. But an Anthony Joshua fight, it's not as appealing, it's not as enticing, it's not as intriguing. But I'll watch it. I'll watch. You know, I always felt that Andre Ward should have never retired back in 2017. I thought he retired a bit too early for me. He was 34 years old. I think he still had something left to offer, man, to the sport. I thought he retired a bit too early for me. But it's good to see that he's willing to come back and fight. You know, I thought he was done completely, like not even a teasing of a comeback to that point. But he's willing to come back, and Anthony Joshua have responded saying that more or less like stop coming for money and just put it up and put your money where your mouth is and step in the ring. You know, stop using my name and just to come in and get money. No, put your money where your mouth is and let's get this on. Basically, in other words, because you know when it comes to someone challenging Anthony Joshua doesn't take those things lightly. He gets pissed off pretty quick. So let's see how long this lasts, man. Let's see how long this fire lasts with Andre Ward and Anthony Joshua. Let's see how Andre Ward now responds to that. And let's see if the fight materializes. Right now, I think it can happen because Ward wanted to fight him, of course. That's the man he wants to fight. And Joshua is coming off a knockout loss, so he has really nothing going on. So I think going into accepting the fight with Ward shouldn't be a problem. You know, because right now there's not many options right now for Joshua. Especially that he got beat by Usyk twice, and like I said, he got knocked out by Daniel Dubois. So there's really nothing right now on the table right now for Anthony Joshua besides the Andre Ward call out. So it is what it is. And if this fight was to go through, this fight will remind me of when Roy Jones Jr. went up from 175 to heavyweight and fought John Ruiz for the WBA heavyweight title. And of course, Roy Jones Jr. looked spectacular, one of his best performances, one of his last, I think the last great performance of Roy Jones Jr.'s career, as he was never the same fighter because he won that fight and then he went back down to 175, which killed him. So let's see what happens, man. So yeah, Andre Ward is willing to come out of retirement after 8 years out of the game to fight top heavyweight Anthony Joshua. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Who do you guys got winning if it happens? And yep, Miracle Boy Boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Austin Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.